Good morning, and welcome back to Sippin Thoughts. I hope you're easing into your day with something warm in your hands and a few quiet moments for yourself before the world begins asking things of you. This morning, I've been reflecting on burnout. Not just exhaustion, not simply being tired after a long week, but the kind of burnout that settles into your bones. You know, the kind that makes even small tasks feel heavy. The kind that leaves you feeling disconnected from yourself, your goals, and sometimes even the things you once loved. And if you're a woman, there's a good chance you've experienced this, because many women are carrying far more than anyone realizes. We're managing responsibilities, relationships, expectations, emotions, careers, homes, families, dreams, and often the invisible burden of caring for everyone around us. And somewhere along the way, many of us begin to believe that our value is tied to how much we can carry. The more we do, the more worthy we feel. The more we sacrifice, the more valuable we become. At least that's what we've been taught. But the Stoics had a different perspective. They believe that wisdom comes from understanding what is within our control and what is not. And when I think about burnout, I often wonder how much of it comes from trying to control everything, trying to manage everyone's emotions, trying to meet every expectation, trying to be everything for everybody, trying to hold together things that were never ours to carry in the first place. Eventually, the mind and the body begins to send signals. Maybe it's irritability. Maybe it's brain fog. Maybe it's constantly feeling overwhelmed. Maybe it's waking up tired no matter how much sleep you've had. Maybe it's losing interest in things that once brought you joy. Burnout rarely arrives all at once. It usually grows quietly, just like a garden that has gone too long without water. The signs are there long before the flowers begin to wilt. And yet so many women ignore those signs because we've been praised for pushing through. We've been applauded for being strong. But there is a difference between strength and self-neglect. One builds you, and the other slowly depletes you. I think one of the greatest misconceptions about becoming the best version of yourself is believing that you must constantly be doing more. More goals, more productivity, more commitments, more pressure, more hustle. But what if becoming sometimes requires less? Less rushing, less proving, less caring. Less saying yes when your heart is begging for a no. The best version of yourself cannot emerge from chronic depletion. You cannot pour from an empty cup forever. Eventually, even the strongest woman needs rest. And not just physical rest, mental rest, emotional rest, the kind of rest that allows you to hear your own thoughts again. The kind of rest that reconnects you with who you are beneath all the responsibilities. The Stoics understood that peace comes from living in alignment with nature, and nature offers us a beautiful reminder. Nothing blooms year-round. Every garden has seasons, and there are seasons of growth, seasons of harvest, seasons of pruning, and seasons of rest. Yet many of us expect ourselves to remain in full bloom every day of the year. We expect constant productivity, constant energy, constant performance. And then we wonder why we're exhausted. Perhaps burnout is not always a sign that you're failing. Perhaps it's a sign that you've been ignoring your season. Maybe your soul has been asking for stillness. Maybe your body has been asking for care. Maybe your mind has been asking for space. And maybe becoming the woman you're meant to be begins with listening. Listening before your body forces you to stop. Listening before resentment takes root. Listening before exhaustion becomes normal. Because balance is not laziness. Rest is not weakness. And slowing down is not falling behind. In many cases, it's the wisest thing you can do. A woman who understands her limits is far more powerful than a woman who constantly exceeds them, because she knows that preserving her energy allows her to show up fully for what truly matters. She understands that balance is not the enemy of growth. It's the foundation of sustainable growth. The woman you're becoming doesn't need to earn her worth through exhaustion. She doesn't need to prove her value through burnout. She doesn't need to sacrifice her well-being to deserve success. She simply needs to learn when to push forward and when to pause. When to give and when to replenish. When to grow and when to rest. And that awareness changes everything. As you move through your day today, I want to leave you with this thought. You were never meant to carry everything. And some things are meant to be released. And there are some seasons that are meant for rest. And sometimes the most important step in becoming your best self is giving yourself permission to slow down long enough to hear what you truly need. So today's takeaway seeds of becoming is going to be number 1, awareness. Pay attention to the signs before burnout becomes your normal. Seed of becoming number 2 is balance. Growth requires both effort and recovery. And seed of becoming number 3, self-permission. Give yourself permission to rest without guilt. So as you move forward on your week, I invite you to use today's seeds of becoming as journal prompts to help you reflect on how you're using awareness, balance, and self-permission in your daily life. Thank you for joining me for this morning's Sippin Thoughts. Until next time, keep growing, keep becoming, and remember that even the most beautiful gardens need time to rest before they bloom again.
Every tear a seed I sowed. Now I'm blooming in my season, watch me glow.